Here we are. It's April 2021 with the Gaming PC Builds of the Month. My name is Corey from noobcomputerbuild.com. Welcome to the April edition of the Gaming PC Builds of the Month. We have a few updates for the month overall, not too many changes, but if this is your first time here, we do the $1,500 build, the $1,000 build, the $800 build, and the $500 build, respectively. Each are kind of catered to certain performance metrics within certain resolutions, so I will explain that in a bit. But first, the updates for April overall for these builds and what kind of affects them. Number one, we had the release of the Intel Rocket Lake processors, which overall subpar results, except we want to focus on the Intel i5-11 600K. We have here PC Gamer here within their review, and with most of the benchmarks out there right now, the consensus being that it performs fairly similarly to the Ryzen 5 5600X. However, it comes in at a cheaper value. So we have the Core i5-11600 in retail today is just $270, whereas the 5600X is retailing around $350. So overall, technically, the 11600K is the better buy in a price per performance sort of perspective. So in the coming months, keep an eye out for that, because these builds might adapt based on that, but it'll all depend on how it all comes together and whether Ryzen's able to come down in price. Overall, if it was dollar to dollar, I would buy the Ryzen 5 5600X. However, on a price per performance, again, the i5-11600K would probably be the better choice. The next thing we have here is we still have a GPU shortage. So here on the site, I threw up a quick little article on why that might be. It's why is it so hard to buy graphics cards right now? If you've been trying to build a PC over the last, I don't know, even 6 months or so, you'll know that there's a shortage and that people are scalping cards and that sort of thing, driving up the prices. So over here we have kind of a few reasons why. So we have the scalpers, we have people. GPUs are money-making machines now, so people are using them for crypto mining, etc. And now we have this kind of short supply, which is leading to higher prices, and then scalpers scalping them for higher prices. However, there are a few ways that if you do want to get around that, if you want to find a graphics card, and I do want to caveat this before I get into the builds, try things like nowinstock.net to search for GPUs, which will kind of give you an idea of when they come into stock, and you can sign up for alerts and stuff like that here if you just choose your card, for example, and then you can sign up for email alerts and see when it comes into stock. That's one way. You can try Newegg Shuffle. That's another way. Newegg Shuffle, if you want to get a graphics card, you just need to sign up early in the day, such as on March 30th. It was at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then you kind of select the card you want, for example, this one, and then you sign up. And then it'll send you an email if you get chosen basically out of a lottery and you have a certain amount of time to buy that card, which is it's a way of getting a card so you don't have to be it kind of just puts you into a queue. So then if you run out of time, it kind of just gives it to the next person in line. And then you can hit F5 over and over and over and over on a product page if you want. Try for pre-orders or join kind of dedicated Discord groups. So there's kind of Discord bots out there that are constantly searching for stock and stuff like that. But this is the reality we're in. So I do want to caveat that. And then within each of these builds, the graphics cards are included based on their MSRP prices plus a few dollars to accommodate for kind of where they're at right now. So do keep that in mind. But I would not spend like $50, $100 more than recommended on the graphics cards unless you're very desperate. So let's get started with the first build, the $1,500 build for April 2021. This build is for those that want to max out games, 1080p, 1440p, and play a good gameplay into 4K at high FPS. And so let's get started. The CPU we have is the AMD Ryzen 5 5600X at $399.99 currently right now. It should go down a little bit over the month here as the stock increases. If that's not in stock, you can still get a Ryzen 7 3700X for a little cheaper as well, which is a good alternative. Comes with an AMD stock Wraith Stealth cooler. Motherboard we have is the Asus TUF Gaming X570 Plus Wi-Fi Edition motherboard at $192.99. Graphics card that is recommended for this is basically any RTX 3070. The one that we have here is the Zotac Gaming GeForce RTX 3070 at guesstimated price $530. It'll be a little more than that, but don't go too crazy with the price. If you get it for like $700, maybe, but that's kind of the reality we're in. But yeah, like I said, there are ways to kind of search for the cards out there right now. For the RAM, we have the Crucial Ballistics 3600 megahertz DDR4 RAM. It's a 16 gigabyte kit. of RAM here. So 2 8GB sticks, that's $87.99. Storage we have is Crucial P1 1TB SSD, NVMe SSD $104.99. Power supply, Corsair RMX series 750 watt power supply at $129.78. And then the case we have this month is the Cooler Master Box MB511 at $89.99 for an estimated price of $1,534. The next build we have, the $1,000 build, the mid-range gaming PC build, so to speak. You can game easily, fluidly at 1080p resolutions at high FPS, and then into higher resolutions at 2K resolutions quite easily without any issues if you go with the recommended hardware. So we have the CPU we have here is the Ryzen 5 3600 at $199.99, included Race Stealth cooler. Motherboard is the ASRock B550 Pro 4 for $134.99. The graphics card we have here is the MSI, or recommended graphics card is the MSI Gaming GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. This was released a month ago or so, also very low in stock, so keep checking for stock there. You can go to even the NVIDIA site as well to check the supply there as well too. And then this guesstimated price is around $400. Again, if you can't find that card, you can go down the tier, basically the list of graphics cards tiers if you want a little bit here. So you could consider an RX 5700 XT, for example, or a the other one I have here is also the 5600 XT, but more specifically this power color Red Devil that was in stock when I was looking. But anyways, Crucial Ballistics 3600 16GB kit for $87.99. Crucial P1 500GB NVMe SSD at $59.99. Power supply, Corsair CV 650 watt power supply at $64.99. And then the NZXT H510 case at $69.99. This one comes in a few different colors too, by the way. This comes out to about $1,018 this month. The next build we have, the entry-level build, the $800 gaming PC build. This was previously actually a $700 one, but we have to keep pushing those prices up a bit based on the current situation in the PC hardware market. CPU we have is the AMD Ryzen 5 3600, $199.99. Cooler, Race Stealth cooler included. The ASRock B550M Micro ATX HDV motherboard, $80.99. The recommended graphics card is the RX 5600 XT. And then that should be around $279.99. Like I said here, don't go like $50 over that. Doesn't make sense to me, but I mean, if you're desperate. Other cards you can consider if that's not in stock, 1660 Super, 1660 or 5500 XT if you want to go down the list a little bit more. 16GB Crucial Ballistics 3600 MHz RAM, $83.73. Crucial P1 500GB NVMe SSD, $59.99, and then the Thermaltake Smart 600 watt power supply at $54.99, and then the Micro ATX case we have here is the Thermaltake Versa H15, $49.99, and this comes out to just over $800 at $807 right now. The next one we have, and the final build we have, is that entry level gaming PC build, a $500 gaming PC build. This one's a little bit different. So the CPU we have for this one, this is that build. This is kind of you just want to play PC games, get up and running. You can play kind of low to medium high settings at 1080p, but depending on the hardware you get. So the CPU we have here is the AMD Ryzen 5 3400G. This is has integrated Radeon RX graphics, so you can get the CPU without a graphics card and be able to play right away. That's it, right out of the box. I recommend this one because you don't have to search for a graphics card right away, and you can actually just buy one in the future when you can get one for a relatively good price. But so this CPU is out there for $272.99 right now. However, if you can get a graphics card, this alternative CPU, I would recommend the AMD Ryzen 3 3300X at $130. It comes with the AMD Race Stealth cooler, motherboard Asus Prime B450A Micro ATX motherboard, $77.99, and then the graphics card. Like I said, integrated graphics if you get the first CPU, and then if you get the 3300X, or even if you want to save this for the future and buy this CPU and then get a graphics card in the future, would be the GTX 1650 at $169.99. Alternative cards could be maybe the GTX 1050 Ti or RX 560, but the GTX 1650 would be the ultimate recommendation for this build in terms of maximizing your price per performance. Memory we have is the HyperX 8GB kit, so that's two 4GB sticks, $49.98. Storage we have is the PNY CS900 240GB SSD, SATA SSD, $27.99. Power supply we have is the Thermaltake Smart 500 watt, $49.99. And then again, the case we have is another Micro ATX, or the same Micro ATX case as the previous build, the Thermaltake Versa H15 Micro ATX case, $49.99. That does it for all of the builds this month. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you can build a PC this month. Best of luck building. If you have any questions, leave a comment or visit the site here at noobcomputerbuild.com, where each of these builds, if you come to the site here and go to each of these builds, we include even more hardware alternatives and upgrades and things like that too. So yeah, best of luck building, and I'll see you next month.